Hey guys, if you don't have a book for your business that is growing your business and making you money, then you are leaving a ton of money on the table. My name is Trevor Crane. Welcome to another episode of Greatness Quest and the Whatever It Takes Network. And today we're talking about publishing your book. Not just a book, but your book. This is the second part of how you publish and profit, how you can go ahead and write your book, publish your book, and get a ton of people to look at it. We're going to talk about how my wife and I did that just recently. We made over 400 sales for our book. We'd used an entirely free strategy to do that, and we became best-selling authors in 24 hours. We're going to share that with you today. You're also going to learn how you can build a whole launch campaign so that you don't just become a temporary one-time bestseller, but you have a campaign that will promote your launch, because we have 7 different strategies for the successful launch of your book. So we're going to help you do all that. By the way, go to greatnessquest.com/publish, greatnessquest.com/publish. We're going to give that 7 different launch strategies away to you for free. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can publish that book, profit from it. We're going to go over the 7 different launch strategies so you have an understanding of how you can use them. And again, these are low cost or no cost strategies to get your message out there. Because if you haven't shared your book, you're kind of sharing your you're holding your awesome inside. We don't have your superhero out there to go ahead and tell people about your amazing business. I mean, imagine if you were just hiring, let's say, a plumber or a roofer, and you went ahead and you were looking at 2 different, let's go with the roofer because I need a new roof on our house here recently, right? So if I had 2 roofers and one of them has written a book, I don't care if it's a 20-page book or a 200-page book. It doesn't have to be, what is this? This is Tony Robbins here. This has got to be, 500 pages. You don't need a 500-page book. Let's just say you had a chance to hire a professional roofer. And you had one roofer that was going to do the job, and he's written a book, whether it's 5 pages or 20 pages or whatever, but it's a good quality book that teaches you something about roofing, about hiring the best roofer. And then you have someone else who, let's say they cost the same amount of money, and he has no book. Who has the greater perceived value? See, you're leaving money on the table because nobody knows about your awesomeness. As soon as you share with someone that you're a published author, and we're going to show you how you can do that, this is pretty cool. We're going to show you how you can become a best-selling author before you ever even write the book, because there's strategies to do that today. So make sure you get the giveaway on the 7 different launch strategies on how you can publish and profit from your own book. We're going to talk about those today, and I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine and new business partner, because I am on a mission to help entrepreneurs and people who want to become business leaders, like get more clients, to go ahead and publish your own book, how you can write it easily, very quickly, do a very good quality book, how you can launch it. And I'm not just talking about one flaky little launch. I'm talking about 6 to 12 months of you being on the bestseller lists, and promoting your business and having a profitable business plan behind it. Because here's the thing. If you don't write your book, and maybe you've been thinking about writing a book for a long time, or maybe you've got a book and you're not making any money on it. If you don't have a 6 to 7 figure business behind your book, then you're going to love what we're sharing with you today, because your book right now is invisible. Nobody knows about your awesomeness, or you would be making that kind of money. We don't want you to hide your awesomeness. So that's the representation of the jacket. I know it's ridiculous today, but my friend Jason and the team of people that we have to help people launch their books, to publish them and profit from them, we've helped hundreds of people. Now, on my last interview, or Publish and Profit 1, when we did Greatness Quest, and I interviewed Mike Koenigs. He's one of our publishing business partners. He's helped over 500, and now it's closer to like 1,000 different entrepreneurs and business people promote their books, become best-selling authors, and build that business behind it. We're going to give you some of those strategies today. The cool thing about Jason P. Jordan, who you're going to meet next, is not only is a really cool guy, but he's going to break down the 7 different launch strategies for you, and more importantly, how you can promote them. Because see, a lot of people will spend their life writing a book, right? They'll go ahead and they'll put in all their time. They think it's their opus, their like life story, you know? I'm writing a book right now. This is a book, it's just a template. It says A Father's Legacy. This is for my daughter. It just asks me some questions about how I grew up so that I can leave this behind for my daughter. But a lot of people will spend like months and years writing their book. That is spending all of your time on production instead of the most important thing, which is promotion. What Jason is excellent at, and we're gonna talk about a lot, is how do you promote your book? Because isn't the goal that if you had a book, just imagine having a book, and like 5 people looked at it. I don't know about you, but that's not the goal. Nor is it 50 people looking at it. Wouldn't it be great to have as many people as possible read your book? And then if you knew how to strategically invite them into your business, if you had a 6 to 7 figure business behind it, wouldn't that be phenomenal for what would that do for you, for your business? Imagine if you had the prestige of being not just a published author, but let's say you're a best-selling author. Let's say that you've been featured in the Wall Street Journal or on some of the major media networks. You can go ahead and just pick them. I don't need to list them here. But if you were a best-selling published author, what positioning would that give you of expertise in your field, whatever it is that you do? And I don't care if you're an employee, I don't care if you own your own business, I don't care if you're a salesperson, I don't care who you are, you can massively benefit either about something that will help people make money or will help them change their life. So we're gonna take a quick break. You're watching Greatness Quest with Trevor Crane and my new mystery guest, Jason P. Jordan. See you in a second. Welcome back to Greatness Quest. I'm Trevor Crane here with a very good friend of mine and business partner, Jason P. Jordan, or also known as Mr. Clean. Welcome to the call.
Oh, you're going to throw that in there. Thanks, Trevor. I'm so happy to be here, man.
Well, I'm not used to just looking at your head. Because it's as soon as I saw that head, I was like, wow, everybody's going to go, he's on with Mr. Clean today? So anyway, brother, today is the second episode of Publish and Profit. So if you don't have a book right now that is building you a 6 to 7 figure income in a business behind your book, then this episode is for you. When I interviewed Mike Koenigs a while back, he has an expert and actually part of our Publish and Profit team that has helped 500, maybe close to 1,000 best-selling authors right now. And Jason P. is in Profit. Jordan is going to talk to us about how you can effectively launch your book, some of the strategies you can get. And by the way, you can download the free 7 launch strategies to go ahead and help you launch your book. Go to greatnessquest.com/publish. Go there and we're going to give you that free download. Well, Jason, talk to me, brother. Why is it so important that somebody publishes a book these days?
Well, maybe some of your listeners have heard this before, but I think it's good to say it again. And a book is the business card of the 21st century. And today, more ebooks are being sold on Amazon than actual physical books. So actually going out and publishing a book is easier today than it ever was before. And getting out there and getting yourself a book, if you position yourself right, you partner with the right people, you promote it properly, and then publish across the correct channels, you can profit.
Well, I completely agree, brother. And I want to brag a little bit because my wife and I decided to use one of the many strategies to promote our book. And we actually got to publish a book without ever even writing it. Like we hadn't finished. My book was still a concept. It's one of the things I'm biggest expert at. But we decided to pre-launch the book, which is number one of the launch strategies you can use to go ahead and publish your book, to actually see if the marketplace even wants it. And my wife and I became best-selling authors in 24 hours using a free strategy online. So Jason, can you tell the audience here a little bit about what we did? Because you were kind of right there for it. What's that strategy of pre-launching a book so someone knows number one?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, Trevor, because that was actually the strategy I used to launch my book, Personal Online Promotion, which is also a #1 Amazon best-selling book. Was I had the book about 80-85% done, and so I just saw an opportunity to pre-order launch the book, meaning that you can start to take orders and the book is not even ready yet. And Amazon will let you actually put the book out there up to 90 days, and you can start marketing and taking sales for that book. And so, like you had said, put it out into the market, see if there's actually a fit or a want for the books, and put it out there. Now, that's just one of the strategies that we talk about when we talk about digitally publishing the book and then taking it to a paperback. And I think using this one particular pre-order launch strategy has to be the right fit for the book and for the client. And I think a lot of people, if they put themselves into this 90-day window, if they have no content, if they're coming into this with no business background, no expert knowledge, like I've heard you talk a lot about on your show, is having that expert knowledge. If you don't have any of that, do not pre-order launch your book, because you are going to pigeonhole yourself into a situation where you're going to launch your book and then you can't deliver.
Right.
Right? So I think that that's really important. The other part is that you don't have to write the whole thing yourself either, Trevor. This is another myth that people think that they have to write the entire book. Well, if you look at publishing a book, just like you look at how music people write their songs, right? They don't write all their songs, right? Once you become a well-known singer or artist, people bring their music to you. So when you partner with a publishing team like what we have authors that will help you and writers that will help you develop your book. So if you don't even have the concept or the content, we can actually help you develop that as well.
Well, Jason, and that's one of the things that's your expertise and why I'm excited to work with you and give everybody access to you, is that the sooner on in the process that somebody has the concept of writing their book and we can actually strategize with them about picking the best launch strategy. I mean, we have 7 of them that you're going to get in the handout. So go get that right now, greatnessquest.com/publish. And we'll talk to you about those 7. It'll give you a little report on the 7 different ways you can launch. So we've got a pre-launch, an e-launch, a free launch, which is a phenomenal strategy. We've got the paperback launch, your podcast launch, your audiobook, the hardback, all this cool stuff. But if somebody already writes their book, like Jason, you said sometimes people will come to you and they're like, oh, I've got this book. They probably didn't write the 7 Habits of Highly People.
I love that book, Trevor.
But they've got their book that they already have decided on what the content is, what the subject matter is, and they didn't do the SEO research. They didn't find out what people already want to know and who they're going to partner with and where they're going to promote it. Like sometimes people make a lot of mistakes, like you just warned. Don't just find a new pre-launch strategy and go launch your book, because you can screw yourself. You can destroy your brand. You can lose all power and credibility. So having a strategy and a team to work with, I think, is so important. So talk to me, Jay, about like some of the types of people that you've experienced working with personally that didn't think, here's what I want to hear. They're like, man, I didn't know that even a book would go ahead and help me. I wasn't sure that that's what I should be doing. Tell me a story about someone you worked with who has just been blown away with their results of having a book.
I got to tell you, the book opens doors, okay? And we know in business, sometimes getting past that gatekeeper and getting that door just cracked open enough so we can have that conversation, that's really important. And so a book gives you the positioning and the credibility to get those conversations that you couldn't get before. So when you look at that, you got to think, if I own a business and I have expert knowledge, you need a book. Right? And you have the content to be able to create the book, right? And you just need to know how to take it from your head and get it out onto the digital world, right?
Right. Can you give me an example of someone in business that has done this and it seems like a weird business? Just real quick, because we only got a couple seconds before we're going to go to break here.
Okay, so an associate friend of mine, John Cody, he actually created a book about the healthcare tourism. Right?
Healthcare tourism.
Right, which was a market that a lot of people didn't even know existed.
And
right?
we're going to hear all about that after the break. You're watching Greatness Quest on the Whatever It Takes Network. Back watching Greatness Quest with Trevor Crane, Captain America, superhero, and Mr. Clean, or you could call him Jason P. Jordan. And we're talking about Publish and Profit 2, about how you could and should have a book. You don't have to write 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You don't have to be a pretty chick. You can just put the name of your book, like the name, and that's it. And then pretty palm trees on your book, make a bunch of money. Jason, you're about to tell me about someone, a friend of yours, that you actually helped and actually were interviewed by recently, and he created a whole niche. He didn't even know it, that never existed because he wrote his first book. So talk to me.
So that interview was from Healthcare Elsewhere, which is a podcast that John Cody, who is the author, the best-selling author of Healthcare Elsewhere, and he actually created this whole niche market of healthcare tourism, like going to other countries to be able to get certain surgeries or healthcare taken care of. So it's a very unique way how he was able to open doors with doctors, clinics, organizations like physician organizations, medical organizations all around the world.
Now, what's his business, Jay? What's his business before he took this on? Like, what gave him the credibility to be able to write a book and even think about this? Because it's too much of a jump to go, from like all of a sudden we're into the result here. So where'd he come from?
So really, he used this idea of that you can interview other experts and kind of like partner with them to use their expertise to create the knowledge. And so he was able to create a story and create a book around interviewing others and coming up with the content that he needed to create the book. And so I've seen several other people do this. I've actually, in my book, Personal Online Promotion, and if you go to personalonlinepromotion.com, you can actually read a little bit about the book, and if you join our list there, you actually get a few free bonuses as well. I interviewed several experts about online promotion, social media, and put them right into the book. So there was some parts of that book that I didn't feel I was a top expert on, so I interviewed other experts that were best-selling authors. And so I was able to partner with them and leverage that knowledge to make my book even better.
And the story then about what's the gentleman's name again?
John Cody.
John Cody. So the story about John Cody then is he interviewed other experts to kind of start this book. What happened once he got the book, and how did that start to open doors? What's the result that came up?
So he now has a multi-six-figure annual income business out of this. Travels around the world, and it was really being able to talk to doctors, hospital managers, clinics all around the world that were wanting people that were going to come in and get specialized surgeries done, that maybe couldn't get it done in their own country or couldn't get it done for a lower cost. So when you travel around the world, there are places that have really good health care, but it's less expensive than it is maybe in the United States. Or waiting in lines if you're in countries where they have socialized health care where it maybe is jammed up and you can't get the surgery you need right away.
So now he got this book done by interviewing other experts. Then the book was done. What are some examples of doors that have opened? Because I know that he's got a new podcast that's very successful. And he identified a niche of Americans, of people in North America, I guess, that are wanting to go abroad, maybe around the world, let's face it, that want to go to another country to get that health care elsewhere. So how did that actually snowball into from a book to this successful business? Because you did this interview with him.
Right. So he really interviewed me about, because I live overseas, and so it was an interview about us and my wife and when our boys were born, and how that transpired and how it affected us having healthcare elsewhere outside of the United States, right? And so we talked about that and how there was a strike here in Europe where we live during that time, and how that hospital staff was like 50%. So how that really affected the healthcare, and not knowing that was going to take place. So if you were going to travel abroad and you're going to want to have healthcare, sometimes when you have healthcare in a socialized medicine country, there are things like that that could affect the quality of the healthcare. So for him, what he's done though is he has actually sold on his podcast, okay, the sponsorships. And so he has like over 1 million downloads of his podcast now. And so he's built a following, and there's sponsorships that are on the podcast. And so that's how he's really turned it into a business.
Okay,
and
so I'm sorry to interject here, but he got the partners to help him write the book, to start help promoting the book. He also, my dog saying, yeah, that's awesome. He got the partners to help him promote the book, and then he also decided to share the same content in another format on his podcast. And then as he got a lot of attention, because I know that, let's talk about the PR part of this. Like, so he had the book, he started to get attention. How does somebody actually get attention with the book? Because, for example, my wife's second phase of her launch, her new book is called How to Overcome Your Money Issues. It became a best-selling book in 24 hours, and that was like 2-3 weeks ago. It's about to go through the next phase of launch, where that was the pre-launch. We're now going to do the next phase of launch, where the real book comes out, because we wrote it. She wasn't all done. She's about 85% done, and it's coming out. And we're going to use this massive PR, because it's got to get attention for this thing. It's not enough to have a book, because countless authors are broke because they don't know how to promote it. So talk to me, because I know that's you're the promotions officer for people, right?
Right. I call myself the chief promotion officer, right? And that's what I like to do. I like to promote people. So one of the things that we talk about when you enter this next stage of a launch is the live launch, when the book goes live, right? So it's actually going to go live on Amazon, and this is the platform that you all, and I have chosen to use to launch our book for the very first time at a Kindle format, right?
Right.
And so this is just one step in the launch process, in the publishing process of the book. And so if you have experts that you have interviewed, that you actually feature in the book, that they're in the book, it is in their best interest to help you promote the book, right? So they're going to want to help you promote the book. And so since the time that I've actually launched my book, a few of the experts I have in there have actually put it out to their Twitter and their social media followings and kind of help promote the book as well. Another thing that we do as a promotional strategy is we work with authors from the very beginning to make sure that their book is ready to be promoted by Amazon. And see, when your book goes live, they'll actually start to promote it for you, emailing people about it, saying, hey, you saw this book over here might be a fit, and all of a sudden it starts snowballing.
Well, talk to me. So there's two things. Like, talk to me about the PR, because this is about when to tell the world that your book is launching. This is about what we're doing for a wife, and we're going to have 3 campaigns. Like, we're going to tell the world about it, and where might she be featured when we do this? Because like she might show up in where is it? Times Square, right? Because we're going to go ahead and promote it. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay, so once your book has reached this #1 best-selling status, okay, a lot of people look at that because it is prestigious. Not just anybody can do that. You've really got to have a team of people, right, to help you really do that. And we put that team together and the systems in place. But once you do that, those doors start to open. And so when we do a PR campaign and we do press releases about the launch of the book, then news organizations will start to take notice. So we send it out across the Associated Press wire, the Reuters press wire. We do some search engine optimization press releases. And these things start to gather up search engine keywords that people are already searching for on the topic of the book. And then the news organizations start to see what's happening. And they're saying, hey, this person did a #1 best-selling book. We're looking for a story or an article to run on this topic. This person's an expert. Let's have them on our show or feature them in our magazine or newspaper. And then all of a sudden now you take it from just your personal social media and your personal list or following, and now you're amplifying it. It's like pouring jet fuel on the promotion that you're personally doing.
Right. And so we're using this strategy as the physical book comes out. Actually, it's not the physical book will be available, but it's the promotion of the real digital version coming out, where it's our live launch versus the pre-launch. Talk to everybody about the launch strategy number 3, because that's the one we're going to do after my wife has this successful launch. We tell the world about it, and she gets all that media attention and all that traffic going toward it. Talk about what the launch is going to be like, because we're going to go for the free launch next. So that will be, for a period of time, we're going to have a free launch, and what the benefit is, like how many potential downloads, if we use this strategy effectively, we can get of this book. Because this is about, you told me this one time, and I think this is important, is the most important thing about your book is getting as many people as possible to see it. So that's why we have these 7 different strategies to help you launch your book. And it's kind of a 6 to 12 month campaign. You can do it however you want. But again, you can get that if you go to greatnessquest.com/publish. We'll give you that special report. But Jay, talk to us about the power of a free launch and a little bit about how that works.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce another P into the conversation here, and that is paradigm. So I'm going to have everybody here take a quick pause in their thinking about books, and I'm going to have them do a paradigm shift in their thinking about books. And what I want them to think about is what we're talking about in this publishing space is not to publish a book to make $1 million from the book or for it to be a New York Times bestseller. If it does become a New York Times bestseller, great, right? But the object of the book is that people see the information, they read it, and then they want to buy your products or services, right? So I can't even get it out here, right? So the more eyeballs on your content, the more products and services that you possibly can sell by creating more, here's another P, Trevor, prospects.
Right.
Right? So the more prospects that you can create, the more possible leads, the more possible sales, more possible increase in revenue. So with that in mind, now I'm going to take you into this idea about the free campaign.
Right.
Okay, so once your book has reached a #1 bestseller, we have our systems in place to help you do that. Now you actually create a multi-mass market media campaign, and you run a 5-day free campaign that Amazon will let you do. And then the goal by doing that is we leverage some other systems to get thousands of downloads of that book for free.
That's what I'm talking about!
Right? And the whole goal is to break into what Amazon has as the top 100 free books in Amazon.
Yeah.
Because then Amazon will start to promote you like crazy. They will email over and over people. They'll feature you on different things. And when you think about that, Amazon has hundreds of millions of paid customers' credit cards on file. Those are the type of customers that you want for your business. Folks that actually have money to buy your products and services. So kind of to wrap this section that we were just talking about up, for the folks that are watching, the paradigm shift is you want people to see the content of your book. You want it to be in front of them, right? And we know that in business, it takes 7 exposures to make a sale, right? And you need to be able to get that information out there. So this free campaign, after you've reached your #1 paid status as a paid author, right? Now is to do the free campaign and to get it out there. And so we set that up before we go into the paperback launch.
Right, and then we've got the paperback launch. We've got a strategy of how you do a podcast from that as another part of the launch. You'll get those details, or at least more of the details on the special report when you go to greatnessquest.com/publish. We're also going to be doing some live training. So when you show up there, we're going to, and you get that special report, Jason and I are going to invite you to a more in-depth training so that we can really get into the details of how you can make this happen. Because it's great to watch a video for I don't know, you've been watching for what, 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour? But you need more, obviously, to go ahead and really maximize this. So we're going to give away those free trainings, but we've got the, what are the other ones? You said the paperback, and then...
we talked about the podcast, and then after the podcast, because you're going to build a following of people that like audio, is to launch your audiobook. And Amazon actually has a platform called Audible. Right? And the more services or more products that you have to go along with your book that Amazon offers, meaning Kindle, paperback, audiobook, okay, the more that they're going to promote you and the more revenue streams and possible prospects and leads that you could have for your business.
I love it.
Then comes the hardcover.
There we go.
Right.
And now we're at hardcover. So here's what I want you guys to do next is if you don't have actually, you know what? You're watching Greatness Quest. We're here to help you. I'm bringing you someone every week that's awesome, that you can use the strategy that they're sharing to completely launch your business into the next stratosphere. And there is no better way to do that, in my opinion, right now than launching your book. So you're going to get those launch strategies when you go to greatnessquest.com/publish. We're going to, Jason's going to have some other bonuses. Jason, what's your website? If they want to find you personally, where do they go?
Okay, you can go to jasonpjordan.com. That's Jordan, just like Michael Jordan. Spell it the exact same way. I just have the same haircut. I can't play basketball like him. And my book page for my book is personalonlinepromotion.com. Or if you just Google that, Personal Online Promotion or Jason P. Jordan, you're going to find me. Right? You're going to find social media. If you would rather Twitter or Facebook, you can just Google that as well.
Okay.
Some of the bonuses that we have available is our press release workbook that is actually part of the book, but we're actually going to give that away for free as a bonus. So if you opt in or join our newsletter, you can actually get that. And a lot of people have been raving about just by using their workbook, they are able to write their own press release, submit it, and they are actually getting some news organizations calling them. So this is a really powerful workbook that really I should be charging for, Trevor. But
I know.
you convinced me to give it away. So here we go.
All right, brother. Well, here's the deal. We want you to be absolutely extraordinary at whatever you do. And whether you've got a job or you've got a business or you want to have a business or you're in influence or sales or or let's say you're trying to get a girlfriend, man, you need a book.
It opens doors.
It opens doors.
It helps you close the deal.
To close the deal. I love it. All right. Well, we're not going to take any more time right now. Go get those bonuses. I'll see you next week on Greatness Quest. Jason, any other more words of wisdom before we sign off today?
Yeah, it's a quote from P.T. Barnum. Something terrible happens without promotion. Nothing. Your book is the best way to position and promote you in your business. So get rid of everything you thought about how hard it was to publish your book and get it done. Reach out.
Hey,
we can help you.
What if they're thinking, man, I don't need to call these guys. I don't need that thing because I'm not ready yet. My book's not written. I need to go to work for the next 6 months and write my book. What would you say to that person that's like, oh, I'm not prepared. I'm a business owner. I'm too busy.
Great. We'll have it written for you. Let us interview you. We can put some of your stories into the book, right? It's not that hard.
So it puts them in even a more powerful position if they're busy and if they don't have it ready yet, because that's when we want that's when we want you, is while you're planning the book so we can make you profit from it. And if you're watching this and you already have a book, what would you say to people who aren't making any money right now on their book and they have one, but they're like, that Barnum quote, nobody knows me, man. They can't see my awesomeness.
Well, the biggest thing I will tell you is that people didn't position properly their book before they published it, right? They didn't do their research inside of Amazon to find what were people looking for. What would they do
now? What would your recommendation to them to be now, other than call us?
Well, they need to go out and do their own research. What are people already searching for, right? We know that in the digital age, Google proved to us that how many people are already looking for that stuff. And so they give us all the information we need to know to position our book.
And you know what? We're starting a whole new thing. I'm going to do it in one little word, and it's R-E. Relaunch. If you already have a book and it's not doing what you want it to do, just relaunch that sucker. And the materials we shared with you so far are going to help you do that. All the stuff you're going to get from Jason. And when you go to greatnessquest.com/publish, we're going to help you with that as well. I'm Trevor Crane. This is Jason P. Jordan, or you might know him as Mr. Clean. Where's your earring, dude? Where's your earring?
No, I just got the headphone right now.
That's right. We will see you on Greatness Quest next week on the Whatever It Takes Network. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Greatness Quest is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.